Yo, what's going on, man? Today is February 11th, 2025. Shout out to my boy, Sai, man. Happy birthday, Sai. My brother. Love you, bro. One of my best friends' birthdays is today. So shout out to my guy, Sai, to start the show. February 11th, 1988, 87. He's an old guy. But I'm an old guy too. Welcome into the ChrisBeCappinn Show nonetheless. We got only 4 games on the board for today. I don't enjoy the slate, man. I haven't made a bet, but it is a couple things that I'm looking at. So hopefully we can find some ways to make some money today, man. Hopefully we can do just that. I do like to take a a deeper dive into some of these 4-game slates to really kind of take my time. So I haven't made any bets yet, but I will hopefully find something that I absolutely love. I got a short list. We'll talk about it. Let's jump into a quick recap. That's not the recap. Let's jump into a quick recap. Yesterday was another profitable day. Wish I had played everything that I talked about, but official plays were the Trae Young under his points and assists. That was money from the beginning. I think he had like 5 at the end of the first half or something like that. He picked it up in the second half, but that was a winner. Porzingis did get the 6 in the first quarter as well. And then I added LaMelo, who only played the first quarter, finished with 5 points and 3 rebounds, and of course got hurt again. LaMelo cannot stay healthy, man, but it's a profitable night overall. Timberwolves was not a winner. Jackson liked the Timberwolves yesterday. I also liked the Timberwolves. Anthony Edwards got rolled in. Mike Conley did not. They just got smoked early. I think it was down like 2-18 or something like that. And then they tried to come back, but it was too late. Also just didn't play any defense in that game. The Darius Garland threes was a winner. Victor Wembanyama points was a winner. Lot of winners yesterday. Lot of winners given out yesterday. But just 3 plays officially, and this was the recap. Let's go through a couple quick comments, and then we'll jump into it for today. Sean says, tip top of the morning. Best of luck to today. I'm on Durham rebounds versus the Bulls. I mean, that makes a ton of sense. I ain't even got to cap it. That makes a ton of sense. Just saw these 2 teams play, man. Anything with a Bulls logo next to it just automatically brings me, some PTSD, like real life PTSD, man. I cannot stand the Chicago Bulls. Whatever you think that team's going to do, they do the opposite. So they'll probably be the best rebounding team in the world if I bet that today, Sean. I'll leave it up to you. But it makes a ton of sense, though. It does make a ton of sense. Jalen Duren over his boards. Why wouldn't he get it over Lil Vucevic? Eugene says, what's up, Chris? I know you're a spreads win/loss and totals, even though about ever thought about 100+ points in the first 3 quarters bet. Target great offenses against bad defenses. Yeah, I have played a couple of these. I don't think any this year, Eugene, but it's just not a market I go to frequently. But yeah, I understand. Says he had a 4-leg last night, 2-leg round robin, and 3-leg round robin last night with the Lakers, Nuggets, Spurs, and Thunder. Hell of a night. Love to hear that. Love to hear that. Adam says I cashed out of a 4-leg yesterday before tip, and the whole card hit. Not doing that again. Should have trusted my picks. Gotta trust your picks. Ty says, good morning, Chris. Appreciate you. What do you think about the Grizz -4 since they lost to the Thunder and they're a great ATS team on the road? We'll talk about that game in just a second. Aaron says, I keep trying to hit these win margins bets 1 to 10. If anyone is having success, I'd appreciate their insight. Okay, we'll talk about this game in a second. Top of the morning to my guy, Justin. What up, Justin? Chad says, bragging about parlays on the day where all favorites covered. What up, Chad? Good morning, bro. Fear Elite says, yo. He says, morning, everyone. Let's get it today. Trying to cook up something while chilling in the house, avoiding the winter remix here in Richmond. Yeah, I'm looking outside right now, Fear Elite. We hadn't actually gotten any snow until right before the show started. I look outside and it started snowing. And I don't think it's supposed to stop anytime soon. I know you in VA too. You in Richmond, so yeah, that's how it's gonna be today for a while. It's supposed to be snowed in. I hope everybody got everything that they need because I don't think it's about to stop anytime soon. Good morning, Tasha. What up, Peasy? Good morning, Helping Hands. Says sitting in this damn traffic. At least I got Chris on. Good morning, Adrian. Says a lot of videos. I saw you on Cal Show yesterday. Your takes are very informative. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that for sure. Good morning, Mark. What up, Vaughn? What else we got? Merrill says he likes Beasley over his threes. We'll talk about that. During over his points for Jason. I think this is a new name since he went over in 10 of his last 13 games. Top of the morning, Brian. Dante says he smacked the 4-teamer yesterday with was nice. Thanks for the continued knowledge. I'm glad you've been cashing, man. Let's jump into it for today. It's only 4 games. We'll start off with Jackson, as we always do, our AI sports betting cheat code / handicapper / assistant, whatever we want to call Jackson. Today I asked Jackson a simple prompt of, and good morning, Nayeli. Today I asked Jackson a simple prompt of what is the best ATS spread in the NBA today. So Jackson was on a heater, still on a heater. If you won 8 of your last 10, you're still on a heater. So Jackson got the Timberwolves wrong yesterday, but Jackson also probably should have waited until right before game time to put that prompt in, just to be fair to Jackson, because Jackson may have thought that Mike Conley was going to play also. But neither here nor there. Today Jackson likes the Memphis Grizzlies. So nice little chart as always, and then Jackson tells me the chart has the straight up records, the ATS records, the points per game record, the points allowed record in the recent form of both teams, and it says why Grizzlies -4 is a bet is a strong bet, which this line has moved. It's open 2.5. It's up to 4 now, but Jackson still likes it. Says recent form and momentum. The Grizzlies have been solid recently, winning 3 of their last 5 games. They're coming off a tough loss to the Thunder, but they've shown resilience and bouncing back after losses this season. The Suns, on the other hand, are struggling, losing 4 of their last 5 games. The defense has been inconsistent, allowing 114.3 points per game during that stretch. Head-to-head matchup in the last 5 head-to-head matchups, the Grizzlies are 3-2 ATS, while the Suns have been averaged slightly more points in these games, 113 to Memphis 109. The Grizzlies defense has been more consistent overall. So injury impact, the Suns are dealing with major injuries, which has significant impacts in their depth and performance. Devin Booker has been their primary scorer, but the lack of consistent support for the rest of the roster has been evident in recent games. The Grizzlies, while not at full strength, have a deeper and more balanced roster. Players like Desmond Bane, Jared Jackson Jr. stepping up in key moments. Betting trends, the Suns are 18-33 against the number this season. This is one of the worst records in the league. They've also struggled as underdogs, particularly at home. I got to look into that. The Grizzlies have been more reliable against the spread, especially against teams with losing records like the Suns. So that's a couple different things that I like to look at. Sometimes I like to look and listen to what other people are saying, and even just taking what Jackson said. I can run SDQL to kind of see if it backs this, but Jackson likes it because of that. So I will look into those specifically when we get into that game, because it's not a game that I had too strong of an opinion on. Of course, you like Memphis on the bounce back. I know Phoenix gets Kevin Durant back, so we'll talk about it. But anyway, jumping back into it. So yeah, recommendation, Memphis -4. Reasoning, the Grizzlies have the edge in recent depth and defensive consistency. In recent form, depth and defensive consistency, while the Suns have been struggling both on the court and against the spread. Memphis is well positioned to cover the spread in this matchup. So yeah, I do want to when I hear stuff like that, I kind of want to jump right into it, but I'll be patient and wait until we get there. But I do want to go into these betting trends that they just talked about. The Grizzlies being more reliable against the spread, especially against teams with a losing record. So I will look into Memphis against teams with a losing record, specifically them on the road. I also want to look into the Suns as home dogs, because that was something else that Jackson mentioned. But as I always say, if you're new to the program, there's a link in the description where you can get 50% off, and it can help you handicap total, sides, player props, whatever it is that you're looking at, and a plethora of sports too, right? It's not just NBA. It's NFL when that's on. It's MLB when that's on. WNBA, I think, is on here as well when that's on. Soccer, you name it, a bunch of different languages. So check Jackson out if you are interested. So let's get into the first game. We got the Philadelphia 76ers and the Toronto Raptors. Game will be played in Philly tonight. We got, let me get to my notes. So we got injury report first and foremost. And the Toronto Raptors are a little depleted here. I think this is the reason why this line is so big. Do I want to lay points with the Sixers? Hell no. But I don't know. I guess I'm not playing points with Philly. That's just what it comes down to. I don't care if it opened at 7.5 and it's up to 9 and they win by 30. Just not doing it. But the Toronto Raptors they're going to be without Jakob Poeltl again, no RJ Barrett, and then on the other side for Philly, they're also going to be without Brandon Ingram, PJ Tucker, of course. Grady Dick is upgraded to think he's listed as questionable in this game. He's listed as probable in this game. So at least you got Grady Dick in there. After taking a hard fall, I think, against the Houston Rockets in that last game. And then Mogbo is probable as well. So when I think about this version of the Toronto Raptors, I think about a strong, not a slow-paced team that's not going to be able to score the basketball a lot. I mean, you got quickly out there, Scotty Barnes and Obaji and Grady Dick. That's a lot of offense and no defense at all. I just worry about them being able to protect the paint with no Jakob Poeltl. I've watched this Toronto Raptors team kind of slide back into what they used to be, and I think that's what they are without RJ Barrett and Jakob Poeltl. That's just how I kind of view the Toronto Raptors. The way I view the 76ers is not much better, though. This 76ers team is not good, in my opinion. Does it match up? Does the lineup for a really good matchup for them? I kind of agree with that. Just because I don't think the Raptors are going to be able to score the ball as well. So getting into the matchup, you got a Raptors team that's lost 4 straight games. They only won in 5 straight up in their last 6, but they have covered back-to-back games against the Houston Rockets and the Oklahoma City Thunder. They're 7-3 against the spread in their last 10 games. So here's the first leg of a back-to-back. They got a game against the Cavs tomorrow back in Toronto. And then on the Philadelphia side, god-awful team, man. 4 straight losses, 4 straight non-covers, first leg of a back-to-back. They got the Brooklyn Nets tomorrow, so not much of a look ahead. They're 7-3 to the over in the last 10 games because they've stunk it up defensively. Toronto, though, offensively is not great. They're 6th worst offense in the last 5 games, 22nd in defensive rating, playing at the 6th lowest pace against the 2nd most difficult schedule. That's all last 5 games. Now, Philly, middle of the pack offensively, 15th, 6th worst defensive rated team, playing at the 11th slowest pace against the 7th most difficult schedule over the last 5 games. So a couple different ways I think that you could play this game. And now I'll go through the rest of my notes in just a second. But I looked into Scotty Barnes, and I'll go over the outlier in just a second so you can see this. But looked into Scotty Barnes. I like his rebounds and assists potentially to go over. I'm just not into laying points with the Philadelphia 76ers, man. I can't do it. I also contemplated wanting to take Toronto team total under. I just gave you guys the pace numbers. Both of these teams kind of playing at a pretty slow pace. What did I say? Toronto is 20. What did I say? 6th lowest pace last 5 games. I watched them play against the Houston Rockets in their last game on Sunday, and I don't even think that game reached 190 points. I kind of feel like they're gonna struggle to score the ball here. Now, Philly, I don't know what to do with them offensively, especially like even if Embiid plays, I have no idea what to do with them. They just, I don't know, man. I'm not a big fan of anything that Philly's doing right now. There's a strong trend that says under here, which is teams that have failed to cover 3 straight games, which the Philadelphia 76ers have failed to cover 4 straight games. But teams that have failed to cover 3 straight games but then land 4 possessions this season are 21-11 to the under. That's about 66%. So that would say under. And then I think about Toronto offensively without RJ Barrett and Jakob Poeltl on the floor. They got an offensive rating of 104 without both of those guys, and a defensive rating of 116, which that would tell you, maybe you take Philly on the spread here. I can't do it. Not with my hard-earned money, man. It also tells me that a potential team total under for the Raptors, like I said, offensive rating without Jakob Poeltl and RJ Barrett is a 104. Their team total is 108.5. Man, I can't. I don't know if I can force myself to push a team total under because the Sixers defense has been so bad, but it just makes too much sense, man. It makes too much sense. So I'm going to stay on the sideline here, but I lean Toronto. I say all that. Very, very long-winded a way of saying I like Toronto team total under 108.5. Will I pull a trigger? Probably not. The Sixers have been home favorites 10 times this season. 10 times they've covered one spread. 1-9 against the number when they're laying points. I want nothing to do with the Philadelphia 76ers laying points, man. Best of luck to everybody that's pushing this from 7.5 up to 9. That's all I'll say. All right, so we transition over to outlier. We can look at. So I was looking at a couple different things. This is Grady Dick's points, but that's not the play. I think I do like Grady Dick points at 13. It was 13.5 last night. I didn't play it. That's one way that I'm looking. The other player, and I mentioned this already, was Scotty Barnes over his rebounds and assists. So what is this? This is blocks. You can see he's gotten a block in 9 straight games. So maybe there. I kind of feel like without RJ there, I know that they got quickly back, but I feel like his rebounds and assists, and you won't be able to tell based on this line here, right? But this is, of course, is without RJ. You know, RJ was in most of these games, so he's only up and over in what's this 4 of the last 10. But if we factor in games played without, go down here, select RJ, and this is an outlier. I always forget to mention this, but there's a 7-day free link in the description of the video for people who are interested in checking out outlier. So in the 10 games that he's played without RJ this season, he's up and over in 5 of those. So still not an extremely, crazy hit rate, but I think, this is my opinion, that the Philadelphia 76ers are not a great rebounding team, that Scottie Barnes is going to continue to play hard, and he's going to be one of the facilitators outside of RJ Barrett. Outside of Emmanuel Quickly, that's going to be out there. So I think it was something else that I was looking at as well. Let's see. Oh yeah, that the Sixers are the Sixers allow the 6th most assists in the NBA, and they're a bottom half of the league in rebounding as well. So yeah, I'm not sure what pace this game's going to be played at. I think that's going to be dictated on if Joel Embiid plays, but RJ, Scottie, I think is in a pretty good spot here. I think he's in a pretty good spot here. Let's see. Yeah, against teams that are bottom 10 in assists allowed this season, RJ is also up and over in 9 of his 14 games. So that's a 64% hit rate. That's rebounds and assists. And he averages 14.2. So that would clear this 13.5 number. That's my thought process here. Grady Dick points was the other thing that I was looking at here. So if we just go back, and I think we only got a couple player props in these games, which is interesting. But Grady Dick points prop is 13.5. Let's see. So we look at the full season, you can see that he's cashed in about 60%, which is great. Great news. If you factor in that RJ is not playing, then he's cashed in 7 of the 11 games. It just means more shot attempts, right? If you come down here, you can see that he's shooting 11.5 times at 42%, 40% from the 3-point line. We just talked about Philly being the bottom 5 defensive rated team. So these were my 2 leans in this game. I didn't pull the trigger on either. I think for the Philly side, you just kind of got to wait to see what happens with Embiid before you play player props on that side. That's probably why we don't have a ton of player props in this game. So I'll lean these 2 guys, but I don't really feel too confident about it, if I'm being honest. I think Grady Dick can have a really big game, though. I do think he could have a really big game. Philly struggles to guard his play type, which is spot up, transition. So I think he could have a big game here, especially without RJ being available. All right, enough of that. Let's go through the comments real quick and move over to the next game. See if we have any thoughts here. So saying appreciate you for tapping in. What up, RC? Says woke up early enough to drop a like live. Appreciate you, RC. Hope you're getting better too, bro. I do hope that you're feeling a lot better, man. Y'all send some good wishes and good vibes to my guy RC, man, recovering from a surgery. GLB says he got Memphis early, -3.5. He says, but I'm definitely going back to sleep now. Memphis -5.5 yesterday. Ooh, okay. GLB says he got a nice little trend. Home teams off a loss facing the Grizzlies. Are 3-8 against the number. Suns at home 2 days in a row are 4-11-1 against the number. Okay. So some more Memphis love. I see that total. It opened 237.5 up to 245 on a couple books now. People thinking Memphis gonna run Phoenix out the building, in their own building. We'll get to that game in just a second. Appreciate the love, Anthony. What else y'all saying in here? Frankie says they shot the ball so bad on Sunday though. Can they shoot a little bit better tonight? Maybe. but I'll have to take a little more of a look tonight. Give me the over, Doggy Bone says. Mark says Toronto +9, 7-3 ATS last 10. Philly 1-9 against the spread as home favorites. Sign me up. So here's the reason why I didn't play it, Mark. Here's the reason why I didn't take the points with Toronto. First off, I guess Grady Dick is going to play, but here's the reason why I didn't play it. Because I watched the Raptors play against the Rockets. And if you've been betting basketball recently, you know that some of these dogs just absolutely just can't stop. They can't score the basketball anymore. It comes a point in the game where it's late third quarter, early fourth quarter, and they get steamrolled for whatever reason. And I saw that happen to the Toronto Raptors and the Houston Rockets. Remember, I talked about the one bet that I liked on Sunday was the Raptors +9 against the Rockets. And I watched the Raptors lose the fourth quarter by 12 points and barely hold on to a cover. They were winning the game the whole game. Fourth quarter, I think they might have shot like 16% from the field. And that scares me. I'm not going to lie. That scares me a lot with wanting to take the points here with the Raptors. But it makes sense. I'm definitely not putting any amount of money on the 76ers laying points here. Brian likes the +9 as well. Now, Ellie says she'll just go win margin 1-10 for the Sixers. Okay. Mark also likes Maxey. Looks like he's looking at Maxey over his points. Glad you cashed it, man. Glad you cashed it. No way Philly should be an 8-point favorite. Gotta ride with the Raptors. Quickly off minutes restriction. You can take his rebounds and assists over, Merrill says. Philly gives it up to the point guard position. They do. And what up, Brian says Lakers first quarter, first half, team total over and spread. Easy money. Let's see how we do against competition defensively. That's going to be interesting. We did do a pretty good job. I fell asleep at halftime last night, but I know it's the Jazz. Like, you got to preface it with the Jazz. But the Jazz had some rebounders down there. Lauri Markkanen played. John Collins played. Walker Kessler played. So, yeah, I was just happy with the energy, Brian. Like, we've been playing with that same type of energy. Luka's only going to get better, too. So, yeah, I like the way the ball moving. They're playing super fast. What did they score? Almost 140 points last night. 132 points. You love to see that. Love to see that. What's up, Savant? Appreciate you for tapping in. Marquis says Raptors team total under. That's the way that I would look. I would look team total under, in my opinion. Timeout says he cashed with trade points and assists under. Love to hear that. All right, let's jump into D Trip says Embiid play makes 76ers defense. I don't even know what that emoji. I guess that's trash, and I'd agree with that too. Good morning, Kurt. Appreciate you for tapping in. Let's go next game. We got the Knickerbockers. They will be at Fieldhouse Arena, right? Fieldhouse Stadium, Fieldhouse, whatever it's called in Indiana. They're going to be in Indiana today. They are laying 2.5 points. See the line moving to 3. Oh, my fault. It is up to 3 now. Open 1. So a lot of money coming in on the Knicks in this spot. I didn't bet it. And the total has shot up. 234 up to 240. 239 is the consensus. 239.5 is consensus right now. So I don't know, man. I'm looking at these games last night and nothing really. I guess I'm just trying to be a little bit more patient, because typically sometimes I think I've like fired off on plays early this season, and for whatever reason just it hasn't been successful. Me getting a bunch of CLV. It was yesterday, but not all the time. And I'm trying to keep that same level-headed approach, that like I don't have to put bets in early. But that's neither here nor there. Let's jump into the matchup. So we got injury report on the Knicks side. OG Anunoby. I was reading about OG. He is listed as questionable. I don't think he's going to play. Shams reported on Sunday that he was likely to remain sidelined throughout the All-Star break. But he did go through portions of the practice, is what I read yesterday. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure what if OG is going to play. I would kind of assume that he won't. The Knicks do got a game tomorrow. But it's against, who do they play? They play the Wizards tomorrow, I think. They play Atlanta tomorrow, and it's back at home. So I'm not sure if OG is gonna play or not. We'll see. That's something that's a big question mark. And then on the opposite side, Miles Turner is also listed as questionable. He also went through limited portions of practice yesterday with the neck injury. And did not play against the Lakers on When was that? Sunday? I think it was Saturday. On Saturday, my fault. All right, so third matchup of the season. The Knicks won the first one in blowout fashion, 123-98. I remember the Knicks. This was like very early in the season. I vividly remember this game. I remember thinking to myself, how hard is it to lay 4.5 points with the Knicks? Because they had got smoked, I think. And I think the Pacers were playing good, but they blew the Pacers out of the water at Madison Square Garden in the first game. And then the second game happened. The Pacers got their revenge. They beat the Knicks 132-121 as a 3.5 point home dog back on November the 10th. So we haven't seen these two teams play against each other in quite a while. This is the first game went under, second game went over, and the second game was like 229.5. So this is an extremely high total based on that total. Situationally for the Knicks, 7-3 straight up last 10 games, just 1-3 against the spread in their last 4 though. 4 straight overs for the Knicks. And this is, like I said, first game of back-to-back. They got the Hawks tomorrow back at MSG. On the Pacers side of things, first game back home after a 4-game West Coast road trip. They finished with a loss to the Lakers by 7 as a 4.5 point home road favorite without LeBron and Luka. And this is the first leg of a back-to-back. They just got the Wizards tomorrow though, so not like they are afraid of their opponent or looking ahead at all. 7-3 straight up last 10. 7-3 straight up last 10, but also just 1-4. So neither one of these teams been really covering the number in their last handful of games. 6 of their last 7 have actually gone up and over the total for the Pacers as well. They have not been playing as great defense. So first thing I looked at was I just kind of matched the teams up. The Knicks have been the 10th best offense, 4th worst defense last 5 games, middle of the pack as far as pace of play. They played the 8th strongest schedule, have the Knicks. Then I look at the Pacers, 21st in offensive rating, 16th in defensive rating, playing at the 8th fastest pace against the 17th most difficult schedule. So, like I said, both of these teams are kind of taking a step back recently. When I look into it a little bit deeper, the last 5 games for the Knicks, their offense is 8th compared to full season, where they have the second best offense. And then I deep dove that, right, which led me to this. They've struggled. The Knicks have struggled to knock down shots from the 3-point line. On the full season, they're the 6th best in 3-point accuracy. Last 5 games, though, 3rd worst, shooting just 31%. These are the Knicks shooting threes. They also the worst fast break team as far as efficiency over the last 5 games. Even though the Pacers, they've been kind of giving it up. They have not been good. They're bottom 6th in transition, in opponent transition efficiency. The Pacers, for whatever reason, allowed the Lakers to get out and run in transition against them last game. And a couple teams on that Western Conference road trip did that against them as well. So I kind of feel like the Pacers are a little untrustworthy. Typically, you want to take them in a bounce back spot. Typically, you want to take the Knicks in a bounce back spot as well. Couple of trends I looked at in this one. So you got the Knicks. They've been great in this spot as far as being able to bounce back. They're 14-2 straight up, 10-6 against the number if they're playing. If they aren't playing on the second leg of a back-to-back and they're coming off a loss this season. So if they have at least 1 day of rest, this is typically a spot you want to buy the Knicks, buy on the Knicks. Like I said, 14-2 straight up, 10-6 against the spread. They're also a perfect 3-0 straight up and against the spread if they're coming off a loss when they have it more than 1 day of rest. And they do have 2 days of rest in this spot. They beat the Pacers earlier in this spot. They beat the Magic and they beat the Hawks all in this spot. Perfect 3-0 to the under as well, where all 3 of their opponents actually stay under their team total by an average of about 14 points per game. So those are some trends that kind of support the Knicks here. Then you look at the Pacers. They've been a home dog just 5 times this season. 2-3 straight up, 2-3 against the number, but 5-0 to the over, allowing each one of their opponents to go up and over their team total, allowing 124 points per game in this spot. 124 points per game is what the Pacers are allowing if they're a home dog this season. I don't know. I'm kind of stuck on this one, man. If Miles Turner's in and OG Anunoby's out, I guess you look towards the Pacers. I do think that they can keep the game within the margin. I kind of feel like the Knicks need everybody. I kind of feel like they need OG if I want to bet on them, specifically on the road. I know the Pacers will be fired up for this game, especially coming off a loss to the Lakers, and they didn't do well on that road trip. They kind of stunk it up on that road trip. I know that they beat the Clippers the night before, but they also barely beat the Jazz. They also lost to the Portland Trail Blazers, got stunk to the Portland Trail Blazers. So I don't know. I don't know. It's a difficult game. I'll say that. It's a difficult game. And this is also a game that I didn't really look into any player props. So hopefully something I said helps the handicap. I think the total going up from 234.5 to 239.5 is a little too rich for my blood to want to take this. I know that both of these teams have the potential to play some defense. So I'm not in a rush to go, back a total that's moved 5 points, and you pretty much need both teams to get to 120 in this game. So I'm comfortably on the sideline here. If OG plays, though, I would like the Knicks on the money line. And if Miles Turner plays and OG sits, then I would like the Pacers. So the injury report, I guess, is pretty big in this role, in my opinion here. So I didn't bet the game, but I will go through comments and kind of see if anybody could talk me into anything or if anything that makes sense here. Let's see what's being shared here. So we got Kurt says he leans Pacers. This matchup, whoever plays at home wins. Tasha says Pacers. Mark says need to look into New York Knicks team total over. I mean, that was a super strong trend. 5-0 to the over are the Pacers as home dogs this season. So they score even though they don't get stops. But I kind of want to view the Pacers as a good defensive team. I know they did just play super fast. I get it. I think the Pacers have the ability to be able to lock down. I know as a home dog they don't, though. Don't get that twisted. They're 5-0 to the over, not playing any defense. But I don't know. Let's see. Defensively, the Pacers defense is trash at home. They're 18th defensively last 5 games. At home, they actually had a worse defense as far as like full season on the road. Last 5 and at home, defensive rating of a 115.9 at home this season. So the Pacers defense has not been good at home. Offensively, though, and that's probably why, because their offense is best at home. 118 offensive rating, that's the best. Whether they're playing on the road, is just a 113. On the full season, just 115. Last 5 games, just 118. So Pacers at the crib score a lot of points, give up a lot of points. Games are still only averaging about 234 points. 234 points exactly. And the Knicks on the road are, let's see. Knicks on the road, second best offense, 18th in defensive rating, giving up about 235 points. So that is a little bit lower than the total. On the road, the Knicks are 29th in pace. So they're the second slowest paced team on the road. And the Pacers at home are 9th. Pacers at home are 9th in offensive rating. I'm sorry, in pace, which is very, very similar to what they've been for the full season. On the full season, they're 8th in pace. Last 5 games, they're 8th in pace as well. So take all that information, do what you want. It actually makes me lean a little bit more towards the under, but I don't know if I'm gonna play. I don't know if I'm gonna play anything here. Let's see. Jalen over his assist for Rome. Mark says, what about Brunson? 25.5 points, maybe. Here's my thought process, Mark, on Mr. Brunson. My thought process on Brunson is, yes, he should be able to cook. I like Nembhard. I think Nembhard's an excellent defender. Nembhard just got cooked, though. He just got torched against Austin Reeves. So I think it's going to be a little extra in this game for Andrew Nembhard, because every time I saw Austin Reeves, if Austin Reeves can do it, I know damn well, I know for sure that the Jalen Brunson could be able to do it. So I don't know. I guess I'm kind of on the fence there. But yeah, I would lean Brunson up and over his points. Doggy Bone likes it as well. Says he's back in bucket form with no OG, cat lingering injury. Makes sense. Yeah, I'm doing the same thing, Adam. Just kind of taking my time with the card, man. Thomas says, give me Pacers, probably like 7 to 10 point win for the Pacers. What up, TC Bats? Nally says she played the Pacers -2 to over. Halliburton over his PRA and Miles Turner points, rebounds, and assists. Josh Hart PRA, Jalen Brunson threes over 1.5. Okay. What's up, Boo Gang Stunner? Bobby says Pacers go back out on the road to play the Wizards and then come back home to play the Grizzlies. Not a great spot. And I agree with that. This is, like I said, first game home off a 4-game road trip. Pacers typically bounce back off losses, though. I did look into that too. Let me double check it real quick because I don't think I wrote it down. I looked at Pacers previous road game and then their home. So they do well traveling from home to road. From road to home. They're 9-6 straight up, 8-7 against the number this season. I mean, not great, but they've won 4 of their last 5 in this spot, covered 4 of their last 5 as well. What if they travel from road? So if they travel from road to home and they're a dog, 5-0 to the over, 2-3 straight up, 2-3 against the number. Yeah, the one trend that stood out to me the most was the Knicks with that rest, though. I just kind of want OG in if I want the Knicks, though. So, yeah, 14-2 straight up if they're not playing on the second leg of a back-to-back coming off a loss. I like that for the Knicks a lot. Dropping dimes, Indiana Pacers fan here. Just play Pacers first half money line on Fanatics. We'll be in the building for this one. Also, look at Rick Carlisle's comments about how they started the game. So Pacers off a loss as a dog. Because, I mean, everybody thought that they were going to beat the Lakers the other day without AD and Bron, right? So if they lost as a dog this season, they are 5-4 straight up, 4-5 against the number, 6-3 to the over. It just says that they play better offense in the next game. They're getting outscored by about 3 points in the first quarter, outscoring their opponent by about 2 points in the second quarter. But I know a lot of these didn't have Nembhard in it, though. And Nembhard, if you've watched this show, you understand the impact of Nembhard, in my opinion. Last 3, they've won and covered the spread. Are the Pacers coming off a loss as a dog. They beat the Celtics, the Heat, and the Pistons. This is them coming off a loss off a loss as a favorite. Disregard everything I just said. So off a loss as a favorite, 7-5 straight up, 8-4 against the number. They've also covered 4 straight games. We took them against the Spurs. I remember being on them against the Spurs. They're 11-1 to the over. So I'm not looking towards the under at all. My apologies there. No under love here. Not with the Pacers being 11-1 to the over off a loss as a favorite. 7-5 straight up, 8-4 against the number. Like I said, they've covered 4 straight against the Bulls. Against the Sixers, they were dogs. Against the Spurs, they were laying 3. And against the Clippers, they were getting 5.5. 11-1 to the over. Average total 231, though. Games are averaging 237 points. Yeah, that's enough for me not to want to take the under. Mark says he likes Siakam over his points. See Miles Turner playing today and sitting tomorrow. That makes a lot of sense. Chad says it's Knicks or nothing. Knicks 3-point defense is atrocious. Probably not playing it if Turner is in, and that is a fact. We talked about how bad this Knicks defense was. Real quick. But here's the thing, though. I was looking into that too, Chad. The Pacers don't shoot a ton of threes, right? Last full season, the Pacers are actually, they like to shoot the mid-range shot. They are number 3 in mid-range frequency, number 7 in mid-range accuracy. On the full season, the Pacers actually shoot the 4th fewest threes. They shoot the 10th. The 4th fewest threes, but when they do shoot them, they make them. They're 10th in accuracy, shooting 37.5%, but only 35.4% of their shots come from the 3-point line. This is the Pacers offense. So they shoot the 4th fewest threes. Last 5 games, they are 18th in 3-point frequency and the worst 3-point accuracy team in the NBA, 30.2%. If there's ever a defense that will give it up, it is this New York Knicks defense. They are last in opponent accuracy. Teams are shooting 39% from the 3-point line over the full season, and second worst last 5 games, 42.6% are their opponents is what the Knicks are giving up from the 3-point line. So this is not a good 3-point defense. The Pacers just like to live in the mid-range, and the Knicks have been solid mid-range defensively. They can still give it up, but they've been solid defensively in the mid-range. Last 5 games, number 2 in opponent mid-range accuracy and 13th in opponent mid-range. Number 2 in opponent mid-range frequency and number 13 in opponent mid-range accuracy. So they've done a pretty good job of containing mid-range shots. Knicks money line, Halliburton over his points. Knicks dead last defending the pick and roll. Ball handler, that makes sense, Jacob. I can see that. Just hung 35 on him last time. Got Siakam under his 21.5 points. Dropping down to Pacers also trying to catch New York for the 3rd seed. All good stuff here. All good stuff here. Nolly says last TV game for the Knicks, they lost bad. Pacers money line for sure. Knicks can't keep up the pace. Can't fade the Knicks off a loss, Chair says. Both of these teams have been really good off a loss, and that's enough to keep me on the sideline as well. So previous loss for the Pacers, 12-9 straight up. If they lost as a favorite, I just talked about that. They are 7-5 against the number. If they've lost as a favorite, the Knicks are 14-3 straight up coming off a loss. And I already gave you guys the numbers if they have rest. So guess I'd be looking a little bit more towards the Knicks, but I think maybe something live. We'll see how it goes. Let's see. What up, Razor? Appreciate you for tapping in, bro. Hope all is well with you. Because we just taking our time. I see, slow and steady wins the race, bro. Slow and steady wins the race. I'm listening to all the thought processes. I don't have super strong opinions, but I would like to make some plays. With that being said, though, let's go to the next game, man. We got the Pistons and the Bulls. Game we played in Chicago. This is one that we can stay on for the shortest amount of time because the Bulls hate me and I hate them back. Whenever I play Bulls games, the opposite happens. The Bulls, this line opened, I think, at 1. The Pistons were laying a point or 2 points or something like that. And it's up to 4 now, 4.5 actually. The total is also moving, not a lot of movement, but open 237 up to 237.5 on most books. Now, these two teams do play again tomorrow. The game will be in Chicago tomorrow as well. That definitely makes it a stay away game. Especially you have no idea what's going to happen on in the first one to be able to bet the second one. So both teams on the first leg of a back-to-back, they don't even have to travel. Tomorrow they both play in Chicago again, same arena, same time probably. Everything stays the same. So injury report, you got a Chicago team that has Ayo Dosunmu listed as probable. Alonzo is listed as out. And then Detroit's going to be healthy, of course, outside of Jaden Ivey. So this is third matchup of the season. Chicago did win and cover the first game. They were +4 back on November the 18th. That was the 5th game in 7 nights for Detroit. I remember being on Detroit in that spot. Terrible play by myself. Detroit did win and cover last week when these two teams played. They were laying 6 points as a home favorite. That game did get up and over to 233, and this total opens, of course, a little bit higher. That total went up and over by 13 points. And like I said, this one did open about 6 points higher, about 4 points higher. I'm sorry. So that immediately makes me think over. I don't think Detroit is like one of those teams where like they play defense during spurts of the game. I'm just not looking towards the Chicago Bulls to get a lot of stops at all. That's been the one thing that's been pretty consistent for the Bulls, if anything. And this is a super inconsistent team. Chicago, just to put some numbers with that real quick, even if they score, they still give up points. Even if they don't score, they still give up points. So looking at Detroit, they are 8th in pace. The Bulls are 9th in pace last 5 games. Detroit 7th best in offensive efficiency against the 23rd easiest schedule. The Bulls are 14th in offensive efficiency, 24th in defensive efficiency for the full season, 26th in defensive efficiency. Teams that play super fast and no defense, you typically want to look towards an over. I think Detroit should be able to score in this game. I do think they should be able to score in this game. When I was looking into it, Chicago coming off back-to-back blowout losses. They lost to Minnesota, lost to Golden State, both by 19 or more. 4 straight games where they've given up 124 points or more for the Chicago Bulls. Defensive rating is 123.3 over their last 5 games. So if Detroit's going to continue to play with pace, Cade Cunningham point should be, a pretty good look here. And I do think this is a game that probably goes up and over the total because I watched Detroit struggle to guard the 3-point line against Chicago. We were on a Chicago team total under. I think it was like 113.5, 114.5, like 2 Sundays ago. And I think Chicago hit 19 threes in that game. And that's what they want to do. This is a team that shoots a ton of threes. And even though they're shorthanded with no Zach LaVine, they've still been making them. So I lean over. And I lean Detroit, probably team total over, but this is a game I know I'm absolutely not betting. I also looked into Kobe White real quick. We can go look at Kobe real quick, but he plays for the Bulls, so I can't put money on him. But I did look into Kobe White and Vucevic. They both have pretty good matchups and pretty good historical splits against the Detroit Pistons. So we'll go Kobe first. Kobe is so this is Kobe's points. You can see he's in pretty good form right now, hitting the over in 4 of his last 5 games at 20.5. He opened 19.5 up to 20.5. So people are betting on his over. If we look at the full season, you see he's only over in 41%. But then if we take out the games without, Lonzo not being there equals more usage for him as well. But if we take out the games with, I can't do it anymore. You can't take out the games without Zach LaVine. I did look into this without Zach LaVine though, and he just gets a little bit more usage. So, you also look at the head-to-head matchups this season. He's played against them twice, 22 and 25. He just shoots the three-point ball really well. You can see he made 5 threes and 3 threes, 50% and 30% in those 2 games. And like I said, Detroit, they can do a pretty poor job of defending the three-point line. So lean Kobe White up and over his points at 20.5, or his threes at 3.5. And then Vucevic, for whatever reason, kills the Pistons. I think it's because Jalen Duren don't want to come out there to guard him. And we know what he can do. He can definitely shoot the 3. So Vooch has not been in good form. You can see that he's only had 12, 10, and 10 in his last 3 games. But when he played Detroit, boom, 20. So if we look at him in the head-to-head, he's played against him twice this season, 29 and 20 against Vucevic, against the Jalen Duren and this Detroit Piston team. You can see for whatever reason, he has really good splits. 5 straight games where he's gone up and over his 18.5 points. This is Nikola Vucevic. And like I said, Detroit can struggle to guard the three-point line. So these are the 2 player props that I lean over on, but I don't know if I'm going to play either one of them. They're Chicago Bulls players, so they'll probably do the opposite of what I'm thinking. Let's see what the thoughts are here in this one. Jalen Duren double-double, 2-unit play. What is his double-double? I would imagine that it's not plus money, right? Double-double for Duren. Minus 155 right now on Caesars is the best number. Pretty sure Jacob probably got a better number, but the best number for Jalen Duren is minus 155 right now, and that makes a ton of sense. Also got Pistons early. Let's see, 5 straight double-doubles against the Bulls, Jacob says. Natalie says, I don't like the Bulls, but I kind of like the plus 4.5. Then I'm on the Pistons next game, mainly because of the bounce back at home. You can see that. Justin played over, 236. Derek says Detroit minus 1.5 in the first quarter. The Bulls are 0-4-1 against the spread last 5 first quarters at home. Detroit is 4-1 against the spread last 5 first quarters on the road. Okay. Mark said hasn't bet either one of these teams in a month. Detroit, if I had to. Yeah, I can't. I still don't think of Detroit as a team that should be laying points. But if you watch the Golden State game against Chicago, Chicago had a 25-point lead, lost the game by 24 points. It's unheard of in today's NBA to have a 25-point lead and lose the game by 24. That's the Bulls for you, man. That's the Bulls for you. What up, Coop? Says, sounds like a Kobe White game. I agree with that. Natalie says, yes, she likes Kobe up and over his points, rebounds, and assists. Chad says, love the addition of Dennis Schroeder to the Pistons. Not looking Bulls way ever. So easy pick, but no chance I bet it. Makes sense. What's up, Ronald? He says he got a system here. Let's see what we got. So we got since the 2018 season, unrested teams. Opponent is rested. Opponent rest. Oh no, opponent's not rested. And opponent team equals previous opponent team. And the team's coming off a loss. See what we got. This is active on what, RC? I see Jazz and Lakers. Jazz and Lakers. Jazz and Lakers don't play tonight, do they? No, I'm not tripping. Yeah, I only see this active on Jazz and Lakers. Am I tripping? Oh yeah, I don't. There's no team that's playing unrested today, right? Rest equals 0. Yeah, no team playing unrested today. So rest equals 0, opponent rest equals 0. So both teams playing on the second leg of a back-to-back, and they're both playing the same team off a loss. Oh, this is probably for tomorrow. Okay, got it. I got it now. It took me a second. Okay, this is for tomorrow. So the team that lost the game covers the next one. It's 30-15-2 against the numbers, what RC is saying. Got it. Okay, I got it. I understand. Yep, he said for the next day between the same teams. I had to put that together. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Let's see. Vooch home road splits matter a lot. He does a lot better at home. Pretty sure that's accurate as well. And he is at the crib today. Yeah, I like Vooch, man. I can't bet him though. Can't bet on Vucevic. Derek says Jalen Durant averages 35.5 points and rebounds the last 2 games versus this team. So points plus rebounds to go over. In addition to that double-double. Like it. Will says, what up, though, Chris? I played Bulls team total under last game, too, and they made 95 threes in the fourth quarter. Between that and the Spurs loss to them, I aged 4 years. Yeah, bro, it's terrible, man. It is terrible. Appreciate you, RC. Yeah, I can't bet Bulls unders. That's what I can't do, especially with the Pistons coming off a win against Charlotte the other day where they kind of let their guard down late in that game. The Pistons have been coming out with something early. But I don't know, man. I don't know. I can't bet against. I don't like betting Bulls games. Let's go over to the last one. I am interested in playing it seems like everybody like the Grizzlies. I don't want the Suns, so I am interested in a spread bet here for Memphis. I just hate that I would get the worst of the line. I do see it coming back down to 3. I see a 3 on Hard Rock, a 3.5 on ESPN Bet now, on Bet365 as well. So let's jump into the matchup here. We got Bradley Beal already ruled out on the Phoenix side of things. We also got KD off the injury report, so he's going to be back. His first game after missing, what did KD miss? Like 2 or 3 games? He missed 3 games. KD missed 3 games, so he's going to return. And then on the Memphis side of things, pretty healthy team. They did get Marvin Bagley. He won't play. Cam Spencer continues to remain out. And then Johnny Davis, who, I mean, those guys probably won't make the rotation anyway. But you got John Morant, Desmond Bane, Jalen Wells, everybody except Laravia, who they ended up trading to Sacramento. So it's pretty healthy Memphis team here. And we know the trends, right? We know what Memphis is on the second, coming off a loss. They typically bounce back in a really, really nice way. So this is the second matchup of the season. Memphis did win and cover as a 5.5 point dog back in Phoenix on December the 31st. That game went under. That game was at 239, and it did stay under the total. This total is 244.5. I can't quite get there. I cannot quite get to that number. That's a pretty high number, especially for a Memphis team that I feel like plays a little bit of defense in these games where they're coming off a loss as well. So let's look into this one because I didn't look into the game. I didn't look too deeply into the game. I did some preliminary work, and then I kind of got sidetracked last night with my son. But we look into it. Memphis is 8-2 straight up, 6-4 against the number. They did lose by 13 as a 1.5 point dog in their last game against Oklahoma City. 2 days of rest here as well. First leg of a back-to-back. They do got a game against the Clippers tomorrow in LA. And then on the Phoenix side of things, 2 days of rest as well. They lost to Denver, got smoked in that game, lost by 17. They're only 5-5 straight up, 4-6 against the spread in their last 10, 1-4 against the spread in their last 5. And also first leg of a back-to-back. They got a game in Houston tomorrow. So real quick, and shout out to my guy RC, let's go over to A-Wing, to the whole crew. Let's go over to Moneyballer real quick. There is a link in the description if people are interested in checking out Moneyballer. You can use this to handicap all the major sports, right? If I click on this drop down arrow right here, as this loads, you can see that, NFL is here. Pretty sure WNBA is going to be here. MLB will be here as well. So these are some of the spots that we just talked about, right? Both of the teams on the first leg of a back-to-back. Both teams off 2 days rest. In-season revenge for the Suns. See what that means. Then we go down. You can sort this stuff from, full season right here where my mouse is, to drop this down to last 20 games, last 10 games, last 5 games. So looking at some straight up numbers, you can see that the Grizzlies are a much better team in general. They are 35-17 straight up, 9-2 against the spread when they are road favorite this season. And the Suns, as a home dog, 4-5 straight up. They have done, I guess, slightly profitable at 5-4 against the spread, or 5-4 in the first half. And then you get into the ATS numbers, and this is what Jackson was mentioning, right? Suns just 18-33-1 against the spread on the full season, 4-5 against the number as a home dog this season. And then the Grizzlies, 34-18 straight up. 34-18 against the number, 8-3 against the spread as a road favorite this season. Suns have been profitable in the first half and full game if they are on the first leg of a back-to-back this season. But not so much as a home dog. So then we get to some over-under numbers. As a road favorite, the Grizzlies are 8-3 to the first half under. The Suns are also 5-4 to the first half under as a home dog. Suns are also an under team on the first leg of a back-to-back, 7-3 to the under. And I feel like just at home in general, they're under team. On the road, they're more of an over team. So then we got some team total numbers. Grizzlies as a road favorite go up and over their team total, 9-2 to the over. The Suns, first leg of a back-to-back, have held their opponents under their team total in 9 of their 10 games. If they're on the first leg of a back-to-back, 5-4 to the under in the first half. So it looks like first half under, and then maybe you take a live full game over after that. Because the defense can kind of go out the window. You can even see here for the Grizzlies, they're 7-4 to the under in the first half on their opponent team total, but then their opponent ends up going up and over there. Well, no, they're not. I'm tripping. 8-3 too as well. So Grizzlies play defense in this spot. Let's look into that real quick. And remember, Jackson has some things to say about this game as well. So I do want to kind of go back and look at what Jackson said as well. So these are a lot of different, things that you can look into. You can see how teams play inside the paint. Or inside the arc, 3-point shooting as well. And then from an efficiency, 4 factors, and scoring perspective, you can look at all those numbers here as well. I want to take another little trip over to Give Me the Dog. And I want to look at some of the stuff for the Grizzlies, right? So let's look at the Grizzlies. First, let's start with them off a loss. You can see the numbers here, right? 13-3 straight up, 13-3 against the spread, winning by average of 10 points, 122 to 112, 9-7 to the over. And they didn't cover against the Rockets. I was on them in this spot. Suns not nearly on the tier of the Rockets. Even the Rockets have kind of fallen off as well. What if they previously lost as a dog? 7-2 straight up, 7-2 against the spread. What if they previously lost and they're on the road? 3-2 straight up, 4-1 against the number. Only winning by 1 point per game in this spot though. Excuse me. Okay. What if the Grizzlies are, I think Jackson wrote that they were more reliable ATS, especially against teams with a losing record like the Suns. So what is the Suns straight up record? They're 26-26. So let's just look at Grizzlies, and opponent win percentage is less than, let's just do like 52. Boom. Okay. Wow. Okay. So Grizzlies beat up on teams that don't have a winning record. You can see that here: 24-6 straight up, 23-7 against the spread, 76.7%. What if we add that they're on the road? 10-4 straight up, 10-4 against the spread, 11-3 to the over. And you can see this DPA right here. They typically score 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 of the last 11 games, they've gone up and over their team total, averaging 127. 127 in this spot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 straight overs as well for the Grizzlies if they're playing on the road against a team that doesn't have a 52% win percentage this season. The Grizzlies against teams that they've beaten already this season, you can see that they're 11-4 straight up, 11-4 against the spread. What if they're on the road? 5-3 straight up, 6-2 against the spread, 8-0 to the over. 151 points are being scored in these games. All overs. 8 straight overs. This is if the Grizzlies are playing against a team they've already beaten this season and they're on the road. All right, enough on the Grizzlies. Let's look at the Suns as a home dog. 4-5 straight up, 4-5 against the number, losing by an average of about 3 points, which is where the spread is. They have lost back-to-back games against the Timberwolves by 8 and the Nuggets by 17. This game did not have KD in it though. Also 6-3 to the under. I thought that the total was a little too high. So what if they're a home dog with rest? Rest is greater than 0. 3-3 straight up, 3-3 against the spread, 3-3 to the over/under. What a mediocre basketball team. What if they have more than 1 day of rest? 1-0 straight up, 1-0 against the spread, 1-0 to the under. Only game was against the Warriors. All right, I've seen enough from an ATS perspective. Seen enough from an ATS perspective. All right, let's look at one more thing real quick. All right, so I'm looking at my numbers, and it's very similar to Moneyballer, but I have the Grizzlies as the 4th most efficient offensive team, the 11th best defensive efficient team, 6th in efficiency differential, playing at the 5th fastest pace against the 4th strongest strength of schedule over the last 5 games. Those are really good numbers, all inside the top 10 outside of defensive efficiency. But for the Phoenix Suns, I got 17th in offensive efficiency, worst in defensive efficiency last 5 games. Who has the Suns been playing against? That they're the worst defense. I know they just got smacked up by the Nuggets, but who else have the Suns been playing against? All right, so the Suns just lost to the Nuggets, beat the Jazz in overtime by 8, lost to the Thunder, got smoked by the Thunder. That game also didn't have KD though, didn't have Bradley Beal. They won't have Beal today. They lost to the Blazers and the Blazers, and they have been going over. They've been getting steamrolled. 122 to the Nuggets, 127 to the Jazz in overtime, 140 to the Thunder, 121 to the Trailblazers, 127 to the Trailblazers. So since they beat the Warriors, they've been really, really bad. Is this a national TV game? See, this is the way my brain works, man. Tuesday. This is a national TV game. This is the TNT game today. This game and the Knicks game. Okay. Yeah, I can't get there with the Suns though. Even try to back this home dog, I can't quite get there, man. 27th in pace last 5 games, 2nd worst in efficiency differential, minus 12.6. I probably should have got to this one early. I like Memphis. Do they win by 2 possessions? I would go out on a limb and say yes. I would say yes. Just one more thing I want to look at real quick. I want to see how they've been scoring and if Phoenix can slow them down or not. If Phoenix should be able to slow them down. Phoenix. Yeah, everything says Memphis in this spot. Let's see how Memphis is. All right, so Memphis is scoring in the paint. 5th in paint frequency, 5th in paint accuracy last 5 games. 8th in mid-range frequency, 6th in mid-range accuracy last 5 games. Not shooting the 3 a lot, but they are shooting it well. 8th in 3-point accuracy. And the Phoenix Suns defensively have been getting torched at the rim. 22nd in opponent rim frequency, 21st in opponent rim accuracy. That's where Memphis typically shoots a lot of their shots. Phoenix is also bottom 5 in opponent transition frequency and opponent transition efficiency. Actually, the worst transition defense. And we know Memphis want to get out and run. On the full season, number 1 in frequency and efficiency as far as transition. Last 5 games, number 3 and number 1. Yeah, this says Phoenix, man. I probably should have played it last night, but it does say Memphis. I'm sorry. It does say Memphis should be able to score and do what they want to in this game. And I think I was looking into this game from a player prop perspective last night. That's the only thing I looked at. And I like Jared Jackson Jr. and Devin Booker. Devin Booker points, I think, was 26.5. And Jared Jackson Jr. is in a really good matchup for his play type. He's in a really good matchup. So those were the ways that I was kind of looking. But I kind of want to take Phoenix. Kind of want to take Memphis here. Kind of want to take Memphis, man. 1, 2. Oh, it feels easy. It feels so easy to take Memphis. Maybe it is that easy, though. Maybe it is that easy. Sometimes the easy plays cash as well. You can get a Memphis minus 3.5 on a lot of sports books right now. It is up to 4, but like I said, this opened. I think it opened at 2.5. So that's at least where the early money has come in. Let's see what you all are thinking here, and we'll get into a quick recap. Let's see. None Like Me says he took the Grizz minus 2 and the over 238 was real early. Don't like getting this much CLV though. I feel like the Suns find a way to win. So I bet KD and book points props. It's a lot of bets. Niley says KD said he don't care about our parlays and bets. So under points, rebounds, and assists, and Grizz minus 3.5. Brian says, Christian says Ty Jones over his assists when Bill is out. Grizz first quarter team total over, Brian says. Maybe Grizz third quarter. Phoenix out fade coming out at halftime. They have been much worse in the second half for whatever reason. Tasha says she'll catch that falling knife with the Suns plus 4, leaning under as well. Suns are dumpster fire, 2 days of rest. I'm on the over in Grizz minus 4. Chad says I grabbed Grizz, not thrilled about it. Feel like the line should be 5.5 by now. With I'm gonna wait for this one too, Chad. This feels too easy to take Memphis, man. I've been getting burnt like this all season long. I've been getting burnt. How many times have we seen Ja pop up on the injury report listed as questionable with an illness? Shoulder all of a sudden got popped out of place at shoot around. I'm not here for it, man. I'm not here for it. Mark says he'll take Memphis minus 4. No total yet. Totally off subject, but anyone in Unraveled, Shakira Austin, Cook, and Chelsea Gray was priceless. I missed all of that yesterday. Missed all of it, man. Let's see. What else y'all saying in the comments? What up, Jalen says just tapping in, Chris. Likes Grizzlies first half full game at plus 105. Yeah, I did. Booker is in a really good matchup, man. He's in a really good matchup. Yeah, appreciate that, Steven. And then I wasn't even on time this morning. Sometimes easy does work, Mark. That is a fact. Sometimes we look at these games too hard. You know, like I try to be super objective, right? And not just take the team that's been winning all the games. But sometimes it's really that easy. It really is, man. It really, really is. I don't want Phoenix, though. I'll tell you that. We'll see where the line goes. But I don't want Phoenix. It'll be Memphis or nothing. I'm not looking towards Phoenix, even with Kevin Durant back. Drop it down. Just low-key like the Grizzlies and Pistons in a parlay money line. I can't bet against the Bulls. The Bulls will win this game by 5 tonight if I bet on Detroit money line. And then they'll lose by 25 tomorrow. No way I can do that. No way I could do that. But I hope you cash your drop it downs if that's what you end up playing, man. Appreciate you, Prestigious Prodigy. Tasha says easy means trap. Not all the time, Tasha. Not all the time at all. A bunch of easy bets won last night. A bunch of easy bets. Golden State looked easy against Milwaukee. Won. Boston looked easy against Miami. Smoked Miami. Cleveland looked easy against Minnesota. Smoked Minnesota. It did not. The easy plays did not always cash, Tasha. Can't agree with you here at all. Denver looked easy last night against Portland. Smoked them. Lakers looked easy against Utah. Smoked them. The favorites were covering last night, man. No, I can't disagree with this. Does not mean trap all the time, Tasha. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. All right. So let's get into a quick recap based on what we talked about. I had the Scotty Barnes over his rebounds and assists. I think this line's still available. At least before the show started, it was minus 125 on Bet365 is what I was looking at. As far as the other things that we talked about, man, I don't even want to put Memphis up here. I really don't. I don't think I'm adding Memphis up here. I think I might play Memphis, but if I do, man, I don't know. Other things we talked about though was Grady Dick up and over his points prop at 13.5. Over 13.5 points for Grady Dick in that game. Probably looking towards Toronto plus the points. Not laying with Philly though. I know one thing for sure I'm not doing is laying with Philly. The Knicks and the Pacers game is just I probably stay away from that one. Maybe something live. I don't feel comfortable betting anything pregame in that one. I guess a slight lean towards the Knicks, but if Miles Turner doesn't play, but I also want OG in, so I'm gonna be on the sideline in that one too. Detroit and Chicago. I lean Kobe White up and over his points. Kobe White up and over his points. I think it was 20.5. And Vooch as well. I think Vooch has a big game today against Detroit. He's played really well. The Duran look, I think, is solid also. But remember, those two teams play tomorrow as well. Definitely not laying points with Detroit on the road as a favorite, though. How many times have the Pistons been a favorite this season on the road? I know it's the Bulls. Don't get it twisted. I get it. But when the last time the Pistons laid points on the road? Oh, they have laid points on the road. They're 3-2 straight up, 3-2 against the spread, 4-1 to the under on the road. 4-1 to the under. Defensively, they play really good. 1, 2, 3, 4. Four teams that stay under their team total. They've only given up 105.6 points per game on the road. And this is a super high total. But the Bulls will come out here and score 140 today. Not messing around with the Bulls, man. I made some money yesterday. I'm not trying to give it back today. Messing around with the Bulls, man. So we'll leave that where it is. And then the Memphis game, like I said, there's a couple of looks that I had. I didn't bring them up on the screen, but Devin Booker points makes a lot of sense based on the matchup. And what's the kid name? Jared Jackson Jr. also makes a bunch of sense. So I'll add those to the short list as well. Maybe I'll get there on one of those guys. Let's see. I'm not in love with the card, as you can kind of tell, especially when I do longer shows. Devin Booker points prop up to 28.5. I swear I saw 26.5 yesterday. So a lot of people betting Devin Booker up and over his points prop. That makes a ton of sense, I guess. Don't think I like it as much, but I'll write it down. Devin Booker over 28.5 points. He's a really good matchup today. Really good matchup. And then Jaren Jackson Jr. over on his points prop. He also has a really good matchup. He's at 22.5 is Jaren Jackson Jr. Didn't really go into the breakdowns, but these were the things that kind of made sense based on my research. 22.5 for Jaren Jackson Jr. Up and over his points prop. Jaren Jackson Jr. up and over 22.5, over 22.5 points. All right, so that's the show. Tomorrow, there are a plethora of games. I think every team in the NBA plays tomorrow, so hopefully we can get started on some early action, kind of cap these games. I might even go live tonight just to kind of get a few of the early games out the way. There's like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, It's 6 games that start before 8 o'clock tomorrow. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So maybe I'll break it up like that, do the first 6 games, and then tomorrow morning do the nine games after that. Because on Thursday we only got 5 games before we get into the All-Star break. So yeah, tomorrow will be a big slate, and I'm not going through all 25,000 games tomorrow. So look out for a night show. Probably gonna do a night show tonight. Look out for that one. Appreciate everybody for tapping in as always, man. Real quick, resources, talked about all of them. Jackson does like Memphis -4. You can still get 3.5 if you like it. I don't love the slate today. Don't love it. Spent an hour and a half talking about it, but don't love it at all. Check the resources out, and I will catch you guys in the next one, man. If you're on the East Coast, enjoy the snow. Enjoy the snow, and stay warm, man. Catch you guys in the next one, man. Enjoy the hoops tonight, and we will be back tonight. We will be back tonight to break down some of the games for tomorrow.